Hey guys, welcome back to Cough Country News. This is Steve with your Cannabis News. I'm coming to you from the late night green set, Cough Country's first live panel style talk show. Tons of big guests, all the hard hitting topics, everything happening in the world of weed. That's coming soon. I'll keep you up to date on that. But let's get into the news and see what's cooking, huh? We start over in Texas, where the Attorney General is suing his own state over marijuana. Doesn't make any sense. Then we go over to Georgia, where a recent councilwoman just got arrested for marijuana after nudes got leaked. Rough luck, huh? Then over at Tilray, a cannabis company, is actually making more of its money on alcohol than cannabis. We got all that and more coming to you right now on Cough Country News.
No sticks, no seeds, just news.
From the Cough Country News Desk, it's Steve with your Cannabis News.
Texas is suing Texas to stop Texas from doing what Texas wants. Texans are voting to decriminalize cannabis, and the Attorney General's going, no, I will tell you what you want. And he's suing his own state to stop it. A petition is going around Dallas to get the Dallas Freedom Act on the November ballot and decriminalize cannabis within the city limits. A study done last year said people of color in the state are 5 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana possession. The jails are full of people arrested for misdemeanors and low-level marijuana offenses. And people are saying this is kind of ridiculous when well over half the states in the country have legalized. So the measure would keep the police from handing out citations or making arrests for misdemeanor possession offenses, but it would also block the city from spending money on THC tests to see if the plant is marijuana or hemp. The city would even have to release public reports on its marijuana enforcement so people can actually see what they're doing and who they're arresting. Saving money and addressing racial disparities? Man, what a combo. All they need is 20,000 signatures and for Attorney General Ken Paxton to chill the F out. It's the progressive group Ground Game Texas that's been spearheading this whole initiative, but Dallas wasn't their first stop. They started in Austin and last year spread to San Marcos, Elgin, Denton, and Killeen to help them overcome prohibition by any means available to them. And now they are here to help Dallas. Like many states have shown before, it's up to the people to represent themselves through citizen initiatives as a government that is preoccupied with its own interests put its people on mute. But the volume's getting a little too loud for Attorney General Ken Paxton, and he's decided he's drawing the line in Dallas. Seems he's tired of Texans speaking their mind, and he's going to need them to shut up real quick. Just shut up real quick. All these cities are home rule cities, right? It's a Texas thing where they get to run themselves pretty much doing whatever they want as long as it doesn't go against state or federal law. And he's saying that's what's going on here, that decriminalizing would prevent the police from enforcing state law. I will not stand idly by as cities run by pro-crime extremists deliberately violate Texas law and promote the use of illicit drugs that harm our communities, said Paxton, the most unbiased person ever. He just got out of impeachment by the skin of his teeth, too, I should tell you that. Democrats tried to get rid of him because this guy's been suing Biden every time he sneezes. On the last one, he's suing the administration for getting in Texas's face and telling the Department of Transportation to reduce their carbon emissions. And he's calling it regulatory overreach. This guy is crying regulatory overreach. These cities passed the initiative with an overwhelming 80% support, but this guy is the one going, no, you have to arrest people for weed. Come on, man. Ugh. Guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back after a word from our sponsor, and we'll get back into more news.
This is a flower. Some people might try to tell you that it's a Schedule I controlled substance. They might scream drugs, drugs, drugs over and over and over again. They might put drugs in all caps. You might even start to believe that this is a drug, but it's not. This is medicine.
Thanks so much for sticking around, guys. Let's get back to the news. What do you say? This poor city councilwoman and school teacher from Georgia goes to the cops because someone is leaking her nudes, and the cops turn around and arrest her for selling marijuana. It's just not her day, man. Rashawanda Merritt had only just gotten elected in December when her ex started running around posting her nudes everywhere. So she went to the police for help. And while they are investigating, they find a text on her phone of her offering to sell someone THC gummies. And since Georgia is a no-no state, they started investigating her. They wind up charging her for felony sale of marijuana and using a telecommunications facility to do it. basically just for using her phone. Man, that's cold. At least the city clerk got it. She said it's a personal matter on personal time and it's got nothing to do with us. It sounds like a rough go, but she doesn't seem too worried in her mugshot, huh? In other news, guys, I didn't expect to hear that one of the biggest craft brewers in the U.S. was a Canadian cannabis company. Why is a weed company selling me alcohol? Well, the cannabis business is hard, and when it's legal in the state but not in the country, it's tough to grow and make money. You can't operate in one state and do business in another without setting up a whole other company just for that state. So one company, Tilray, a Canadian cannabis company actually, that can't hop the border into the U.S. without being kicked off the NASDAQ and losing all that sweet, sweet investor money, is still trying to set itself up for legalization in the U.S. when that happens. Their numbers aren't looking too bad. Cannabis sales are up 35%. It's got a distribution business in Germany that's going to be looking really good if they decide to legalize. But it's the biggest surprise is that alcohol, not cannabis, is the biggest driver of growth for the company. So what? You're not getting enough money from marijuana, so you're just going to turn your back on it? Well, it turns out that cannabis beverages just might be the wave of the future. They're saying the category is growing something like 50% a year, just bonkers numbers. And it could be worth $19 billion in 4 years. And I know. I've heard the promises like that before, but there's definitely some kind of demand here. Cannabis cocktails have been catching on, and in some places like bars and restaurants, even breweries and distilleries have started serving cannabis drinks. And cannabis mocktails have been a huge trend this dry January. In fact, one dispensary in Massachusetts, Theory Wellness, is opening up a beverage-only dispensary where it'll just be packed with nothing but drinkable marijuana. The national retailer Total Wine & More has even started selling beverages with hemp-derived Delta-8 THC in it, and a national brand getting in on it like that should definitely be telling you something. The world's biggest cannabis drink factory is opening up in LA, and it's partnering with Mary Jones, the cannabis-infused offshoot of the craft soda company Jones Soda out of Seattle. It's all happening, people. It's happening. So maybe with all that going on, it's not such a bad idea to get into the drinks business, right? Tilray can't sell their cannabis in the U.S., but when they bought 8 beer and beverage brands off of Anheuser-Busch, a brewing behemoth, as well as Montauk Brewing and Breckenridge Distillery, they actually became one of the top 5 craft brewers in the United States. And with the appetite for alcohol in the U.S., that's driving something like a quarter of their whole business. But they're thinking ahead. When legalization happens, and it will, they will be able to turn on a dime and have the whole U.S. market at their fingertips, and they'll be able to pump those sippers out like nobody's business. But even if cannabis drinks are the way of the future isn't here yet. Tilray just lost $46 million last year, which is an improvement over the $60 million the year before that. And just like a lot of other cannabis companies, their stock is down over 80%, and they are firmly in the red. Federal prohibition just makes the cost of doing business too high for most companies like Tilray are just trying to hang on until the government comes around and legalizes. Guys, thanks so much for checking us out. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow Cough Country News so you don't miss any more. And tune in next time where it's always no sticks, no seeds, just news, baby.